Today we're checking back in on one of the participants from the VyStar Debt Payoff Challenge, and his story is one that so many people can relate to. Cameron Massicott is working hard to build a strong financial future. He's currently pursuing his MBA so that he can create more opportunities and move ahead financially. But that path comes with a cost. He's on track to graduate with about $140,000 in debt, and he's preparing for his student loan payments to increase once he graduates. When we first met him, Cameron was balancing student loans along with credit card debt while trying to make progress and plan for what comes next. And he made the decision to face that reality head on and take the steps to change it. Before we hear from Cameron, though, I am joined by Mark Strebel, a financial educator with VyStar. Mark, it is great to have you back. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Of course, this is really exciting too. You know, giving people and empowering them, giving them the tools they need to create that better financial outcome. So, remind us about Cameron's story. When we first met him, what was he facing?
So Cameron was balancing student loans along with credit card debt. At the same time, preparing for the reality that those student loan payments will increase once he graduates. That can feel overwhelming, especially if you're trying to build a stable financial future.
Yes, and that is one of the things that I thought was really powerful, is how you helped him kind of step back and really define what he wants his future to look like.
That's right. We created a vision board with Cameron so he could prioritize what matters most to him, not just paying down debt, but what he wants to save for and build long term. So the plan to get there, and that really helped guide his decisions that way.
Right, so it becomes less about reacting to the debt and more about building towards something in the future.
Exactly. From there, we created a phased approach so he could stay focused and make steady progress.
All right, so walk us through that plan, phase 1, phase 2, and so on.
Sure, so phase 1 focused on 3 smaller balanced credit cards to build momentum early. Phase 2 is about preparing for those higher student loan payments by setting aside that future payment we're going to set into savings so he's ready when they begin. Next, we're going to focus on tackling his larger balanced credit cards with a clear strategy.
All right, well, Cameron is balancing a lot right now, so we are going to actually meet up with him via the internet. Thank you so much for joining us. How have you been?
Hey, I've been doing good. How have you guys been?
Oh, we're doing so well, and I'm so glad that you were able to kind of get the help from Mark and VyStar. And I'm kind of curious, though, how things have been going, because you are going to be graduating in just a few weeks. So tell us, Mark mentioned that phase 1 focused on paying off the 3 smaller balanced credit cards to build momentum. So were you able to do that?
So actually this Friday is when I'll be able to pay off all 3. And then after I pay off all 3 on Friday, that's going to leave me an additional $500 to put towards one of my larger balances. And after I pay that down, I'm also still going to have roughly about $8,500 to $9,000 in my account, to where I'm going to use about maybe 6 months worth of student repayments or student loan repayments. I'm going to put that in my savings account. That way, when my loan repayments start in January, I'm able to just pull it out of the savings account and pay off that like that for a little bit.
That's awesome. And you worked with Mark to create a vision board to prioritize what you want your future to look like. So how has that changed the way you think about your spending and your saving?
So it's helped out a lot. I was able to cut back on my spending. I'm not going out as much. And instead of, let's say, shopping at Publix and spending $150 a week on groceries, I'm able to go to Aldi now and spend half that cost and still get the same amount of groceries. So I've learned what to prioritize, and I've learned that saving more will help me in the long run when it comes down to paying down debt quicker.
And so Cameron, one of the next strategies too was talking about those other high balance credit cards. So what are some of the strategies, or what's a strategy you plan to incorporate to tackle that?
Yeah, so basically, once I get those 3 lower balance ones paid off on Friday, all the money I was using towards those payments, I'm gonna use towards one of my higher balanced cards. And also with the money that I've been saving from cutting back on, like, let's say going out or on groceries, I'm also gonna use that towards my higher balanced cards.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like you've really helped him out, and you sound very empowered and excited, and congratulations to earning your MBA. What an accomplishment. Thank you again, Cameron, for joining us today. Of course, of course. All right, so Mark, what is the biggest takeaway from Cameron's journey for someone who may be watching this at home right now?
Have a plan, break it into steps, and keep your future goals front and center. That's what helps turn small progress into real results.
And that's such a great reminder that with the right support, real progress is possible. So to learn more about the financial tools and resources that VyStar has to offer to help you take control of your finances, just visit vystarcu.org.